One of the easiest ways to grow your revenue, your net profit in business in general is to raise your prices. It sounds easier said than done, but truthfully, I have found in my own coaching and consulting business that having conviction and having belief in myself, and also changing my target audience and elevating from just somebody who's a newbie or somebody who's just starting or less aware of this industry that you're coaching in, the higher up you go in awareness, in skill level, in even socioeconomic level, when it comes to your avatar or your target audience, the higher the quality clients you get, the better the experience it is for you as a coach working with somebody who's already self-driven, already finding success, but just needing to go to the next level. But the question is, what can you offer to somebody at that level if you're somebody who feels like you can only coach beginners? Maybe you feel like, man, I'm not that experienced, so I feel like I can only work with this group of people because I don't feel qualified. Truthfully, you have something, some knowledge, some experience, some angle to business, fitness, health, or whatever it is that you coach on or consult on. You have an angle that is priceless and that somebody who has money has never heard before or experienced before. You do have something of value to offer a higher level client who in the realm of business is already making 10, 20, 30, 50K per month. You do have something to offer fitness people who are already hitting high PRs, low body fat, and on a great diet. Sometimes that little perspective shift that you take for granted is something that other people would just be mind blown if they heard it for the first time or implemented it into their lives for the first time. So question that self-doubt and that voice that minimizes you in your own head that tells you, man, I'm too young, or I'm too inexperienced, or I'm not qualified enough. You do have something of extreme value to offer to people at a higher level up the ladder, so to speak, in terms of avatar target audience. And the thing is, when you work more closely with somebody, or you get the result more quickly with somebody, or you work with just somebody who's at a higher level already and you get them to an even higher level, you can charge a lot more. I started off as a porn addiction recovery coach, charging $2,500 for 3 months of one-on-one. And it was a lot of work. I mean, I was holding them accountable 24/7. They could text me, they could message me. And I just found that it was a lot of work for people that were really struggling. I'm not saying these people don't need help, but for the money that you're getting from it and the amount of work and energy and stress you're putting into it, sometimes it's just not worth it. And sometimes because those people, they have very little funds and they're paying with half their net worth or whatever it is, they feel like they expect the world out of you because they just dropped half their net worth on you. And truthfully, that's not to blame them, right? They're actually giving of what they have. But at the same time, they tend to externalize responsibility, especially on a coach, or expect everything from the coach rather than seeing themselves as the one that are responsible. And that's why working with people who are self-driven, when you get on a sales call, treat this as an interview for you to accept them into your program rather than you trying to chase them down for a sale. Because truthfully, you don't want to work with everybody. Not all money is good money. Sometimes I've had $5,000 clients that were a headache. And I was like, this is just not worth the money. And you'll have other clients that will pay a lot more, $10,000, $20,000 to work with you. They're not a headache. They're chilled. They recognize the onus is on them to put in the work. You are there to guide and support them, but they're not there for your time. They're not there for your energy. And they just recognize, hey, I'm hiring this coach because he has certain blind spots and things that they can recognize in me. And I just want to get the quick thing that I need to know and just move on. When you work with higher level individuals, whether they be entrepreneurs, leaders, or people in corporate, they tend to value their own time a lot more. They don't want a 1-year program or a 6-month program. Many times it's like, if you can condense this solution into 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Let's do that instead. So this is the thing. Sometimes we package our coaching offers to think, man, the more time I put in, the more energy I put in, the more modules I put in, the more value it has. Not necessarily. You just need to include the essentials to get someone to their desired result if they are to apply the information to their own lives. You can't do that for them. But you want to keep it simple. The more information, the more overloaded, the more overwhelmed, the more they overthink. Keep it lean. Yes, give them resources, like give them access to stuff, but truthfully, like the reason why ChatGPT and AI is so huge right now and just like blowing up is because it's quick, it's personalized, it's information right at your fingertips. You don't have to pay for ChatGPT or AI, a lot of these, that you can get consulting from or coaching from, essentially. But of course, the thing that AI is missing is that actual human connection, human accountability in between and throughout the process. You can charge whatever it is you're charging and double that price if you target a higher net worth individual, a more self-driven individual. Usually entrepreneurs believe in investing in themselves more than somebody who's an employee for a company. Entrepreneurs know that everything has a cost and they are willing to pay for their own cameras, their own, materials, their own coaching, their own investing into themselves. Usually people who work for companies expect that their company is going to give them all the benefits and all the things, and they hesitate when they have to pay for something themselves out of pocket for self-development, for growth. So just different mentalities, different types of people that you can target for your business. Again, this applies for fitness, health, wealth, relationships, whatever you kind of fit into there. The point I want to make is if you just change who you're targeting, keep your offer the same, or you can have it more proximity, but you can keep your offer the same, and just by targeting a higher level individual who has more money in their bank account, you can raise your price because, as a wise man once said, like, rich people and poor people have the same issues. It's just that rich people actually have the money to solve those issues. I just want to share this because somebody out here is working hard, laboring over leads, one-on-one sales calls, not closing deals, putting in all this time, energy, and effort, and you feel like nothing is landing, nobody's saying yes, and it might just be because you're talking to the wrong people. I remember when I was doing porn addiction recovery coaching for Christians, there were a lot of people who were like, bro, you shouldn't be charging for this. This should be just ministry. This should be free. Why are you charging for my deliverance? And that type of mindset is broken because, dude, I'm not getting paid for this. This is my source of income. When I was doing porn addiction recovery coaching, it's like, dude, I'm giving my time, my energy. All of these services are not sponsored by a church. There was this constant limiting belief with this target audience where people are just like, ministry for the Lord should just be free. And I get that ministry, church work, things of that nature many times operates from a donation basis, tithes and offerings and all of that. But when it comes to coaching, when it comes to consulting, when it comes to hiring somebody to walk with you on a personal level, recognize that you're going to have to pay for that high level of accountability and support. So I just recognized that I wasn't willing to continue working with people with those limiting beliefs or try to convince leads that were struggling with these limiting beliefs. I said, who are the individuals that I can work with that are actually going to value what I have to offer, recognize that time, energy, and expertise is worth investing into. And one of those groups are entrepreneurs, right? A lot of these people from the ground up, you got to do everything yourself, right? Again, or just somebody who has access to more resources, right? To hire a coach. Your issue might be who you're targeting in your business. And this can be for any type of offer within coaching or consulting or any type of business in general. If you seek to attract premium buyers who buy because it's more expensive, because it's luxurious, those people that buy because they don't want the cheap version of whatever it is that they're getting, those are the type of people that you want to reach because usually they're better clients, usually they get better results, usually they pay a lot more. And this will just make your business run a lot smoother. And Again, you can charge a higher price for a smaller amount of clients rather than a really cheap price and have to sell everybody, right? Like, I'd rather sell, one person per month for a $10,000 offer, and that's $120,000 for the year. The amount of people you got to sell for a lower ticket offer, even if it's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, you got to sell a lot more than if you're selling a $10,000 offer, $20,000 offer, $30,000 offer. Think about what you can offer people. A transformation, a result, an experience that is transformative, that is personalized. Just find 5 to 10 to 20 people that are willing to pay $10,000 and up, rather than trying to find 50 or 100 or 200 people to pay for a much smaller product. Raise your prices, change your avatar, your target audience, and watch your business grow. Peace.